What do you think the biggest misconception about maybe missionary work is? What do you wish more people knew about life as a missionary? Sometimes when I say like, oh, I would like to be a missionary, I'd like to go off and do all this. And then I hear, well, you can be a missionary right here because there's a lot of need right here. But God calls us to different places for different purposes. How do you respond when you hear something like that, or what do you usually hear?
There's different types of missionaries, and you have to know what your calling is in the mission field. There's missionaries that we call short-term missionaries. So they'll come down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. They want an experience outside of their country. And I think every young person, or every person, let's say that, needs to be outside of their country and see a different culture. It opens your eyes to how the world is. Through the years that I've been traveling in ministry, I've been able to travel to over 30 countries of the world. So I've been able to see a lot of different cultural things, the way people act, the way people think, what's important for them, what's not. And it breaks down our own righteous thinking that we're right and everybody else is wrong. So they're short term, and those people just need to come in, um, just fill themselves with the culture, fill themselves with the people. They really don't do a lot of ministry. It's more for them and for the people. But later on in life, a lot of those people come back on the mission field as missionaries. The second area you have is what we call teaching ministries, that people will travel. They've got a special area of teaching, a special knowledge from God, and they'll take that to the different countries and share them. My parents were teachers, and so I know that very well. They teach on praise and worship before there was praise and worship in the churches. All the churches were singing hymns, were doing the traditional type of church, and the change that has come in the church was done because of people like my parents that took that word to the different churches and opened their eyes to another way of getting close to God, that it doesn't have to be the hymn book, it doesn't have to be the way service is always carried out. Things can be changed, and our culture is changing. And then there's missionaries as ourselves that we lose our identity. So you ask me if I'm a Canadian, I still hold a Canadian passport, but I'm not a Canadian. And if I went back to live in Canada, I would not fit in because I've lost my identity as a Canadian and taken on another culture. So if you're going to be real effective on the mission field, it needs to be a life change. All my children are Mexican, and they have the Mexican culture. So I've lost my culture to get people to serve God.